Yo, welcome back into part two with the Dynasty Lova over here, Chad. So today we're breaking down the AFC West and we're breaking down the AFC South. So let's get at it. You guys good? Anything you want to say before we jump in? Now that we're on part two?
Nope.
Go LA
Let's get
Sparks.
You know what? There is one thing I want to say really quick. We actually got the announcement of the schedule just about a couple hours ago. And Smitty, you want to know what my Christmas present is this year? Week
Let's hear it.
17 in LA, you putting on an Arizona Cardinals jersey is my Christmas present this year.
Ugh.
Oh,
Ugh.
man. Oh,
Ugh.
man. It's going to be great.
What?
All right, so AFC West. Chad, let's talk this one over. Let's talk the Broncos right now. So they got a QB. They got the QB's college wide receiver there. What are we doing with this team? Who are you buying? Who are you selling? What did you think about the draft picks? Talk to me.
I like that they paired Franklin with Nix, just the college. You know what I mean? You're coming in a training camp, they've already got a rapport. As far as that goes, I'm not really like the highest on Franklin as a prospect, but it's kind of hard to ignore that landing spot just being with Nix and just the lack of targets to go around in Denver just in general. I'm not quite sure how long Cortland Sutton will be there. Maybe he's there this whole year. Maybe he gets traded. But their roster as a whole, I'm not really not like I'm dying to buy Denver Broncos. I think Knicks is a good hold just pick in general for Dynasty. Starting quarterback. He's actually a Sean Payton draft pick, so that's insulated in your team and your picking. The running backs kind of just all over the place. I do like Javante, but you got McLaughlin and I think they drafted Estime this year, right?
Yep.
So they could those touches could be divvied up, however. And I actually like Dolchich as a sleeper this year. Honestly, post hype, he was getting a lot of love last year. I think he could do a little bit for you on a fantasy team.
So ESPN has Adam Troutman as the starting tight end, which is absolute crap.
He probably is. He probably is, but I want the receiver of the two. But yeah.
So Smitty,
Jeez.
let's talk Cortland Sutton here. Asking for a friend who's trying to buy vet wide receivers right now. What are you thinking on Sutton, and what would you be selling him for? Are you looking to buy him? Talk to me about Sutton.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, which is gonna personally put me on pause with the whole buying, selling Sutton. He's currently holding out, which is so I guess he deserves it, right? Because he averaged a touchdown per game, but and now it's a whole new situation. I don't know what he's expecting to get. I understand he was quite productive last year. I don't even know what to say about Sutton. Sutton is just a if you want to buy him, you gotta buy him low. Just as a what if situation. If you have Sutton, hold because of what if. But this is just if I'm looking at anybody, I'm kind of looking at. I love how you mentioned Jaleel McLaughlin. He's interesting, but as a super duper buy low, Audric Estimate does kind of scare me. And Josh Reynolds, that guy, he's not. You know what? I don't care for anybody on this team. I'm just being real. Red Dolchich, he might have some tight in 2 weeks. That is cool that he's there. Adam Troutman might mess things up. Dude, I don't know what to say about this roster. This team
It's
looks.
bad. It's not good.
Yeah, but there's a receiver worth investing in here, and it's just a matter
Sure.
of calling your shot. And I really
Oh,
want to know what the
Jordan
price is
Humphrey,
on
I
Cortland
agree.
Sutton here, boys. So I
Third
don't
round rookie
believe
pick.
anyone is going to buy at a second rounder. So
Nah.
we've got to talk about a third, but does that get him done, Chad? A third for Sutton right now on let's say it's a team that is middle of the road or rebuilding.
Yeah, I'll get him off my team. I'll take a third for him.
Do you agree, Smitty?
No, because he genuinely averaged a touchdown a game.
Come on, man! I
It was
want
kind of
you
like,
to
and
that
honestly,
one.
one of the best plays of the year was one of the touchdowns he caught, like barely outside the, like he was barely out of the end zone. That shit was immaculate. Like he caught it with a slight little toe tap. He pretty much was out, but he wasn't like by the smallest. Like he was barely out. Like that was, I don't know if y'all remember it, but that was a crazy play. And I'm like, this guy's still doing shit like that. Like, oh man, I'm interested. But
You're talking
as of
about
right
Russell
now,
Wilson's. You're talking about Russell Wilson's last great throw in the NFL, right?
yeah, I actually, that really was his finale, if you will.
So, Chad, great assist. Didn't tell you I was trying to do that, but Smitty, I was trying to get you to agree on a third round price because I was going to send you an offer in the Rumble for a third for Sutton, right? And we were going to do this on air, baby. All right, so let's talk Marvin Mims. I do believe that's an investable asset to take a shot on. It's just a matter of what price. He's kind of a rebuilding dream to take a shot on, I think. You know, hits, doesn't. But what are we trying? What are we going to send for Marvin Mims? What would you buy him for, and what would you sell him for, Chad?
And you're probably looking into the third or fourth round rookie picks. I don't know if I would trade a third in this 24 draft for him. But if you wanted to trade, you know what I mean, if you wanted to throw a fourth out there, I'm always in the mind. If you like the guy, I mean, a fourth round pick, if your rookie drafts are that deep, it's not going to kill you, man. You're never, like, it's hard to find the Pukas and shit in that round period. So if you like Mims, you know what I mean, it is what it is. I don't think Nick's is as bad as a lot of people perceive him, at least in the Dynasty, like from stuff that I see as far as like internet and stuff. I don't think he's like fantastic either, but
So what I'm hearing from both of you guys is no one's worth targeting by themselves on here, but pretty much everyone's a throw-in piece off of a trade that you're just trying to get something done, right?
Yeah. And honestly, what I want to know the most is, if we're talking about throwing pieces, how sexy of a throwing piece is Javonte Williams? Like, is that sexy enough to like move? Because like I said earlier, I'm actually concerned about what Estime could do in this offense. So, like, if you have a Javonte Williams, you're trying to upgrade anything, I feel like he's a guy that can get it done. What do you guys think?
I think it's kind of like, have you ever seen that liquidation in the furniture stores where everything's 40, 60, 70% off?
Yeah.
I have liquidated everywhere. I have no shares. What is this? Is this fourth year or third year?
Good question. I think fourth. Fourth sounds right.
Yeah, and it's been a while, and I do have Estime on a lot of teams, and he is who I would target out of this entire offense is Estime. I think we all agree on that one. It's a what could be, and he's cheap enough that, you know, if he turns into a usable back for 5 starts next year, that's the price you're getting him at. So that's where you probably got to target. But
Javonte's going into year 4.
Year 4, yeah. I'm out. He's. Did they pick up his 5th-year option?
No, he wasn't a first-round pick.
Oh, that's right. So Bo Nix, what are we doing with Bo Nix? So, you know, I've got some situations right now where I've got liquidity in first rounders and I got Bo Nix. So let's say a middle of the road first round pick and Bo Nix. Where is that going to get you to a quarterback that's useful? Is that a trade you would do, Chad, for Jared Goff right now?
I'm so glad you said the name Jared because that's exactly what I thought.
You said Bo and a first?
Yeah, just let's say mid-first. Not a horrible team, but who knows?
I think I'm out on that price for Goff.
Okay. So who would be the quarterback that you could get with that? So let's Dak Prescott?
Man,
no. Yeah, could you do
that? That would be a better target for me.
What about Purdy?
If I could get Dak, I just think he's got Jared Goff is probably going to be one of as safe as you can get, and just a week to week basis. But Dak can give you quarterback 1, quarterback 2, quarterback 3 finishes. Goff might give you one of those all year. So.
I think you have a possibility of getting Dak. I don't think you can get Purdy with that. You offer Bo Nixon a first to me. I'm not taking that for Purdy.
And I'd be cool with Dak. I think that's a perfect target if you wanted to pair a first with Bo.
Okay. And let's talk about the throwing pieces. So if you got Javonte Williams on your team and you want to throw him in that package to get that deal done, do you even care? Or is it just like, just take him?
It depends on, like, if you're buying Dak, you're probably hoping to win. You know what I mean? If you're probably hoping to win a title. I don't know if I want to give up what I perceive to be a starting running back, but if you feel good about the depth at the running back position on your team, ask for a second round pick. They might give you Dak in a second.
Okay.
For Javonte Bow in a first, I don't think that's bad at all.
Okay. So Smitty, you would take Bo Nix in a first for Brock Purdy? Is this just 49er state?
No. It's just Young. The kid's young, hasn't got paid yet, you know, and they're like a Super Bowl favorite still. So, yeah, I take it.
All right, I got to take a second. Chad, you're going to get mad at me when I say this, but here's the deal. I say this on a lot of podcasts. There is not a single difference in this fantasy football game.
God. Don't say it.
Not a single difference from Joe Burrow to Brock Purdy, and people just need to get over that he was picked as Mr. Irrelevant. He is a 30-plus touchdown quarterback, dude. Like, get out of here with this crap. Smitty, I know you get mad at it. I talk about it all day long, but, dude, Brock Purdy is a good fantasy football quarterback, especially in a 6-point touchdown league. Smitty.
Equal to Burrow, though? Like, golly.
Yeah.
I got to see it for more than a year.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you.
So what did we not see out of his rookie year?
Super Bowl.
He was good.
Oh, wait, both of them did that. You know what? Maybe you're right.
You mean the only reason he didn't go to the Super Bowl is because he literally had to have surgery and tore his whatever thing in his elbow? He goes to the Super Bowl. All right, anyway, Smitty, I'm getting you fired up today. This is just my goal. Let's talk some Kansas City Chiefs. Let's pull up their depth chart here. So,
all right, you got Taylor Swift,
expensive. Travis Kelce. Let's talk Travis Kelce right now. So
Yeah,
you
man.
win first teams. I'm going for it now. What are we doing with Travis Kelce? Is this the year, Chad, that the wheels start to fall off? Talk to me about Travis Kelce this year and what you would go buy him for on a winning team.
I've still seen a lot of football left in that guy during the playoff run. Now, is he going to play like that all year in a 18-game schedule, 17-game schedule? I don't know. But Rashee Rice, his suspension still up in the air, and if he's not on the team at least 6-8 games, I mean, Travis is going to have 10 to 12 targets a week, even if he's giving you 6, 7, 8 catches for 80 or 70, 80 yards. It's still pretty productive, man. It's hard to get production like that week in and week out from the tight end position. I'm shopping. If I'm a contender, I'll see what people want for him, but I don't think I would overpay anything for Travis.
It's hard. I'm struggling personally with it because I can't get a good price. Because anytime somebody wants to put him in a trade, they just want to unload all of their vets in the trade, and I can't get them to pivot off of that sometimes. And I'm not giving up a first rounder for Travis Kelce. I mean, that's just not happening. Smitty, what are you doing? I think
the only way you do that, man, is if you're getting at least 2 points a catch for tight end. If you're getting around there, then the first kind of makes sense, but your team better be loaded. You better be confident in Travis Kelce putting your team over the top, because he also got the 2-year extension too, and I think that was more insulated, like the Chiefs' way of just giving him some money since he's been so underpaid. I don't know if he plays another 3 years. He's already 36 years old, So
Smitty, here's an interesting idea. So let's say I'm on a team that I think can make a push and I've got sledgehammers everywhere. Let's say I have Dalton Kincaid on my team right now, and I look and I see you as a rebuilding team with Travis Kelce. Do you think what could I get on top of Travis Kelce to give you Dalton Kincaid?
Oh my, tight end premium.
Yeah, let's say 1.5.
1.5. Oh my god. I love Kincaid so much, dude. To where We have to start with the first. We have to start with the first. And honestly, okay. So I have Kincaid, right? And I'm contending. And meanwhile, this guy has Kelsey, and he's trying to, go younger. Okay. Uh, I think we have to. The starting point is Kelsey plus the first for Kincaid. And a
That's start.
1.5, yeah. I
Okay.
think that's, yeah, I like that price, to be honest.
I think I'm doing that trade all day long.
Yeah.
I think if I think I'm going to win now and I've got the pieces, I'll take a first in Kelsey because I think I can
You got a
buy.
first?
If the wheels fall off Kelsey, I think I can go buy Evan Ingram. I think I can buy David Njoku. I think I can buy somebody else with
Good
that first.
point.
I think I would do that all day long. And if Kelsey stays healthy, I'm happy.
Hey, and you got
Yeah,
the first. Okay, so we love it.
I would try. I would try to get Kelsey in a player
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
over the
for a contender,
over the
yeah,
pick.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, what tier player are you looking for? An aging vet? Are you looking for, let's say, Zay Flowers and Travis Kelsey for Dalton Kincaid?
I would like that on the Kelsey side. Zay will still have some spike weeks, but he's pretty young, so it depends on what your roster needs. Do you need a wide receiver? What I believe to be like a wide receiver 3, boomer bust most weeks. He might give you wide receiver 1 weeks, uh,
Okay.
or do you need a RB? Maybe
Yeah.
you go
So,
get a. What if you were offered like Saquon and Kelsey
Oh my
or
God.
I take that.
Kincaid? I
I
think
would
I
take
would
that.
too.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
even
absolutely
take
take
that in
that.
a two tight end premium league.
I would. Yeah.
I love
There's
that
no
too.
guarantee. There's no guarantee. I I think in a 2 tight end premium league, they both play 17 games. Kelsey's going to outscore him.
Whew.
But
I
it's
take
also
that.
like I'm also expecting Rasheed Rice to be suspended at least probably 4 to 6 games. So
Yeah, so the reason I take that is just how I play fantasy football. Um, so if I'm looking at Zay Flowers, so I don't take Zay Flowers and Travis Kelsey. I'd prefer the future first because my cutoff, if I'm taking a player and a wide receiver, my cutoff would be Brian Thompson Jr. Wherever that falls on your chart, that would be my cutoff because I'm getting really sick, and this goes into Dalton Kincaid too, of everybody believing just because you had a decent rookie year that you will make that step the next year. I don't think that that's a guarantee. And I get Dalton Kincaid's, uh, I get his opportunities that are in front of him. But at the same point, man, Travis Kelsey is the dude until he says he's not the dude that has won. I mean, everybody that's won like a championship in their life probably won that with Travis Kelsey on their team. you
Hmm.
know? Yeah. So, all right, we got to talk Rasheed Rice. I think we can all agree if you're a rebuilding team, great target. What are you doing on a contending team that has him on your bench as your wide receiver 4-ish? Chad.
Four-ish? I would keep him if he's four. I would keep him if he's four.
Okay. Chad?
Four?
nah, I'd get rid of him. If I feel like I might wait a little closer till you have some details. Because if you sell him and he doesn't get suspended this year, if it drags out like I think that was the Ezekiel Elliott, right? Case,
Mhm.
didn't his stuff drug out and then he got suspended the following year. So maybe you wait a little bit closer until you get some clarity on that. But if let's say he does get suspended 6 games, go buy a veteran this year. That's gonna help you out. I like Rasheed, but he gets suspended 6 games, and then what if Xavier just is phenomenal while he's out, and then it's not gonna stop the Chiefs from drafting another weapon next year, and
I
then
agree.
you know what I mean. So you're into that type of situation. I would sell him, but as a rebuilder, I'm buying them everywhere I can. People are selling them for back end like seconds and 2/3 and shit. Like I'll take Rasheed Rice all day for that.
Smitty, what you got?
You seen that? You seen that deal? Oh my God.
Yeah, I've
Oh
seen
my
them
God. Hello.
get sold for 25 seconds, and I'm I'm
Dude,
taking
I
them for
learned
that.
so much from this podcast. First off, thank you guys for even having me here. This pod rocks. This pod rocks. Oh my God. I'm about to get Rasheed Rice into like at least half leagues. Really? That's the price? Oh my god! I mean, I hate
I've,
you, but like that is the price. Yikes!
I've after I seen that trade, I sent out a couple 25 seconds in my league,
Oh, I
just
know.
in my leagues, just to throw it out there. I haven't gotten them yet, but and I like I said, I don't blame teams for not trading them for that because I'm not going to sell low on them. Not if
So I've
I'm
Oh,
not unless I'm a contender. So
So I've used Rashi Rice, and here's a little secret. I've never really said this on the podcast, but what I really like to do is look at when a team starts rebuilding, you can see it. The second it happens in a league, like they make that move. That's where I attack that. And I've seen that in 4 different places, and I've taken Rice in a second, and I've tiered up to T. Higgins, a DK Metcalf, like that range of wide receiver. That's what I'm using Rashi for. But I also will always have the liquidity to make that move to tier up from there. If I didn't have the liquidity, I think he's a perfect target for a contending team that builds like I do that doesn't have running backs, and that's the piece you go get the running back with. Maybe you can get Saquon Barkley from a rebuilding team for that. I mean, I think that's a solid trade for both parties. So that's kind of where I'm using him. But man, his price is all over the place, boys. I mean, it's just crazy. You play in a smart league, I don't think you're getting that second done. I don't know.
no,
Yeah.
but I've
So
seen
wide receivers, who are we touching here? You know, let's stay off 4.21. We'll talk about him later when we're doing a mock. But let's talk Hollywood Brown. I have a hard time getting Hollywood Brown. I just think it's what have you really ever done after your rookie year? Smitty, are you going after Hollywood?
yeah, buy low, and if the guy doesn't want to sell low, then fine, I'm over it. That's just how you have to do that until we see more. God, look at that. I'm so sorry. I'm just loving like the position of everybody here. Tony and Moore are second rounders or second stringers. That's funny. But yeah, I don't know. Just buy low. And if that person's not budging, then leave it alone.
Kadarius Toney, is he a waiver wire candidate? Because I mean he's about ready to get slammed on the waiver wires across the board. I don't even care
I'm
anymore.
about to drop him tonight. No, honestly.
Chad?
I love Tony was whatever you feel like you need to do with them, you can do with them. I mean, it's that ship sailed for me. But as far as Hollywood Brown goes, I actually love him. His fit
Oh,
with Pat. They've been wanting that downfield threat since Tyreek, and they have not gotten it with the guys that they've had on their roster, the McCole Hardmans and the Marquez Valdez-Scantlings, and Xavier, as good as he potentially can be in a read offense, he's going to have to earn it. He's a rookie. Rasheed Rice didn't start playing over 50% of the snaps until after their bye week, I think week 8 or week 9 last year. So maybe Marquise is a guy that if you do have, maybe he gives you a solid first 2 months of the season, and then if you feel like you need to sell him. But I like having pieces of a Patrick Mahomes offense, so I think
agree,
he's a good player this year.
I agree, but the problem is that's what's driving his price all over the board because, yeah, he's attached to Patrick Mahomes. Like, the dude went with his best friend, college teammate, Kyler Murray, and literally couldn't get it done there. And I don't know. I'm not going to pay the
He was
price.
a decent fantasy receiver there, though.
that might have been like a Kyler entry thing. I don't know. Sucks.
I don't know.
So,
I think he's a hard one to make a call on. But Smitty, I want to start with you on the person we stripped a nickname from. We called him Playoff
yes, I was
Pacheco,
waiting for
Master
this.
P,
I was
Failure
waiting for this.
P
Yes.
for Isaiah Pacheco in the playoffs.
Playoff
What
P.
are you doing? Because to me, this is the perfect type of RB. I like to take one of those wide receivers that are kind of roster cloggers, but kind of have hype. Like, if I got to take Jerry Jeudy and be like, all right, will you take this straight up for him, or do I got to attach a third on here? Like, that's the type of move I think I'm trying to make for Pacheco. Talk to me. What are you doing with them?
So here's the thing. I have both bought and sold him. And from that experience, which was both before the NFL draft, what I've learned is I don't think Jerry Jeudy in a third is good enough because he is one of these people that people are claiming to be a winner post draft because I thought this was a perfect estimate team. I thought this was a perfect Braylon Allen team. I thought this was a perfect, one of those day three running backs type team, which they didn't even touch. Instead, they re-signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They got Keontae Ingram, which is a surprise to me. Isaiah Pacheco is as playoff poo-poo as he was. The dude is gonna be all right. Like he's gonna be at the worst a solid RB2, and if you, honest to God, can get that deal, Judy plus a third, do it. Do it. I like it because he's going to be good for at least. He's going to be RB2 for at least this year. So I'm willing to buy at this point. I completely regret selling him because I sold him low, low, low because I was scared of his situation. Plus, I hated what he did in the playoffs. But yeah, now I think it's time to buy. I honestly do.
Judy and a third is specific to how I build my teams, where you know Jerry Judy is going to be the seventh friggin' wide receiver on that team, the sixth
Okay,
wide
well, yeah.
receiver, maybe the fifth. So that's very specific. If he's my wide receiver 3, I'm not making that trade. I just need to say that so no one clowns me here. But Chad, what are you doing with Pacheco?
I mean, he's got no competition for touches in that backfield. I honestly think if you were gonna attach Judy in a trade with him, it'd be worth giving up a second.
Ooh.
I also don't want to trade for running backs 4 months before the season starts. It's just not the way I do it because I tell you right now, he gets dinged up and he misses a month. All he has to do is tweak that ankle, and he's not going to be right all year, even if he plays. So those are trades, and the price might go up on running backs closer to the year. I mean, that's the game you play. But if you want to roll the dice and trade for guys out, you know what I mean. If I'm trading for a running back, I'm either like trading a running back off my roster and I'm getting one back, or like I'm buying a Brees or like some absolute stud. But I like Pacheco. I think he's in line for another good year. And again, he's pretty insulated. He started catching the ball more out the backfield, and if I'll come back to the Rashee Rice if he does end up getting suspended, man, those targets, Kelsey's not going to catch them all. You know what I mean?
So we preach, man, every episode except for the one you were on last week is we don't buy running backs right now unless they are cheap vets, and if they get hurt, it does not hurt your team whatsoever. That's the only thing, like the James Connors, the Austin Ecklers, like those dudes that are just so cheap right now. All right, let's talk Patrick Mahomes here, boys. I just don't hear what I'm not saying with Patrick Mahomes. I haven't had an opportunity to talk about him too much, but tear off of Patrick Mahomes, tear down. We are in a different NFL these days where there's more systems. And, I just talked about Brock Purdy and systems, and it just doesn't matter. Like, these quarterbacks can come in the NFL and be really good, but Patrick Mahomes' price is very high right now. We had some good quarterbacks just come in the league. I think now's the time to tear down. I believe it. I think everyone will call me a fool on here, but it's just how I play the game. If I can tear down to Anthony Richardson, if I can tear down, somewhere in that range to QB 7, 8, 9, tear down to Joe Burrow, like whatever, just tear down. Give me something, especially in a start 11. So, Smitty, let's start with you on Patrick Mahomes. What are you doing with them?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't call you crazy for that. When you're at the top, tearing down is still very sexy, especially in the top 5, like you said. Like, I do see Richardson as a top 5 type of. He's going to probably have a top 5 type of season next year. So, like, yeah, oh my God, if I can. Okay, well, when it comes to those two, I guess I see Patrick having a much longer career. You know what? I'm actually a little nervous to sell him, if I'm being honest. I'm a little nervous because he is consistently fantastic in real life. But in fantasy, last year might have been his worst. So if we're strictly talking fantasy, which we obviously are, I'm targeting specific players. I don't think I want to go with the rushing quarterbacks because I think Mahomes is going to last longer, and I don't know if I want to go down to a Burrow because he is officially injury prone. I'm just trying to figure out what is a sweet spot. Um,
Kyler Murray and Saquon Barkley for Patrick Mahomes.
I will keep Patrick Mahomes and ask for a first in return.
Okay, but
Take
you
the
would.
Kyler side.
You would
I'm
take
on
the
Kyler.
Kyler side without the first in return. Oh
Wow.
my god.
I'm
Oh my
telling this
god.
podcast.
It's funny. It's funny because he. I was gonna say the very last quarterback that I will take for a Patrick Mahomes trade would be Kyler. So if you're gonna give
Really?
me Kyler, and so if I tear down a quarterback in a super flex league, my idea is cheapest I'm willing to go is the last guy I believe can finish higher than Mahomes in a healthy season. I think Kyler has that ability. I and once you get past that, you're at about the Trevor Lawrence range. I don't. If they both play 17 games, Mahomes is going to outscore him in fantasy. But Kyler has quarterback one upside. So, and if
I
I believe that, and if they're off a point or two a game, if even a point or two a game, and you're getting Saquon and the Philly offense, yeah, I'll do that.
Smitty, what have I been saying for 3 months now? And what did I text you this morning, by the way?
look. I totally believe in Kyler. It's just I could not do that in a dynasty league. I couldn't. I
I
Trying to
couldn't.
understand it.
process it.
A lot of people too with Dynasty, like I do it a lot too. So it's not like I'm just throwing guys in a bucket, but sometimes people think too far ahead.
I can
It
see that. Yeah, I totally am. I totally am.
Kyler's been dinged up too. But it's just I look at it even if you're wanting to win a championship and if you've got Mahomes, even if you aren't wanting to win a championship, then take a Kyler and get you a different player, man. Get some. You can probably get Kyler and like even if you don't get Saquon, like a Jalen Waddle or like a receiver like that. And that's the way I've always played fantasy. I actually made a trade last year. I was before obviously Amon-Ra destroyed last season. I traded Mahomes for Burrow or Amon-Ra.
Okay, hold up.
Just
See, there's context that needs to be added. You traded for Burrow when he had a really insanely bad season. Were you capitalizing on Burrow's injury, or like, what? When did you do that
no, I
trade?
did that before he got hurt last year.
Oh my God! See, now
Before
I
the
would do
season
that.
last year.
See, I would do that. Actually, that is now you're speaking my language.
I have no
Ron
fear.
Burrow. Oh my God!
I have
Please,
no
goodbye, Pat.
I have no fears about Burrow going in the future. I still have Kyler ranked behind them, but Kyler is also like if you wanted to rank Kyler above Joe as far as a fantasy quarterback, I'm not gonna stop you. Same with Anthony Richardson.
But we live in a world that's a fantasy world, but there's a reality that is not far off that Kyler Murray just might have an MVP trophy in his case next year. There's a world that I've been saying for 3 months that he will be the QB1 in fantasy next year if he stays healthy. And listeners, I want you to listen to what Chad said. It was said so beautifully that he's going to get a player that there is a world that can outscore Patrick Mahomes. And that's why he tears down to that specific range. Thank you, Chad. That was
It's in a super flex, you know what I mean?
correct.
That when you're doing quarterback specifically, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'll do it in the next tier once you get past Kyler.
Oh
You know
God,
what I mean?
single
If you
QB.
trade a if you trade a Trevor Lawrence, like who are you gonna look at after that to get down as far as a quarterback that can outscore him and then get you another piece on your roster?
Yep. All right, let's break down the Las Vegas Raiders, Oakland Raiders. I live with Raiders fans, so let's make this one quick because oh my God, this is quite interesting. Devontae Adams, price check, Chad. Devontae Adams, he's the perfect type of wide receiver to go get on a winning team for your wide receiver 3, 4, wherever in there. What's the price on Devontae Adams?
Depends on what kind of team has him. I'd be willing to trade a second for him still if that's if that's in the realm of possibilities. I still think he's a really freaking good wide receiver. I really want Gardner Minshew to be the quarterback for him this year. I think Aiden O'Connell
Yeah.
stinks.
Mm-hmm.
but if Gardner is his quarterback, I still think he's got a wide receiver one finish in him. So that's worth a second round pick to me if I'm gonna try to win a league. And I don't think he'll be done after this year either. Sometimes the
Smitty,
elite guys just stay elite a little bit longer.
second for you. Would you give that?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be just if I could pull off getting a second, but honest to God, I'm sending a first. I'm sending a first for Adams, and but only if it's confirmed that Minshew won the
Yeah,
quarterback.
if you're sending a first, you better hope that you better know for sure Aiden's not playing
Yeah, but
quarterback.
I'm saying though, like, I mean, you even touched on it. This guy is going to be elite for a minute. Like, we really aren't
At
worried
least
about
two,
how long he'll be
at
elite.
least 2 more years.
At
Wait
least,
till week 6, Smitty. If you're thinking about
yeah,
sending a
first.
first round, wait till week 6, and then when these teams are realizing they can't win, you can
Sure,
go get anything for a first, bro. Like
sure,
I,
that's true. That's true. But I'm just I guess that's like my stamp of approval. This guy is totally worth the wide receiver spot in your roster. No flex, he's worth this WR spot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that made sense.
so I think that makes perfect sense. To be honest
Okay,
with you.
great, great.
So Gardner Minshew, this one's interesting to me because I do think you need to go get him in your leagues, and I think you should value him at this exact moment as QB 33, because I do believe he's a starter, and if he is, I think he's a top 24 quarterback this year. But we still don't know who the starter is, so we're not paying starter price right now. So I mean, he's a wet dream for a second rounder right now, right?
Yeah, it's a risky second round pick if he doesn't end up beating. I mean, Aiden O'Connell still is a draft pick of this current Raiders regime, so you never know how they value that. I watched him play last year, and that dude is not good. Like
No, he's not.
he's bad.
I
and
bought him from Smitty for $5 a fab in a league.
honestly, and I've always been a big proponent of having these guys on your rosters, anyways. When Gardner Minshew was a backup, when Jacoby Brissett was a backup, like I, you've watched them play in the NFL already, and you know that they are just competent. And when
Mhm.
quarterbacks are competent, they're always going to get a job in the NFL, whether it's backing up a quarterback or they'll find a team like Oakland or Las Vegas that is kind of iffy at the starting position, and they can go start for an entire year out there. I said it last week about Jacoby. Like it's not going to surprise me if Jacoby Brissett starts 8 to 10 games for New England this year.
Yep.
So
So Smitty, I got an interesting trade. Let's say you've got Bo Nix as your QB3 right now, and you're pretty stacked. Let's consider it something like my team in the Rumble right now, where he's your QB3, and you need that vet wide receiver. Do you send Bo Nix for Gardner Minshew and Devontae Adams for a team that does not need Devontae Adams?
Yeah, I would absolutely. Oh my God! Wait. Bo Nix for Minshew and Adams.
Yes.
Oh yes,
I'm
give me Minshew and Adams, please. Give me that stack. I mean, I'm a stackosexual. I love a stack. I don't care how. I don't care what team it is. I will even be okay with Knicks and Franklin like that. I love a stack. So yes, I am super down to do that.
Would you send a
I'm
third
taking
if you
that.
have to?
I'm
Yes.
taking that without knowing if Gardner's even the starter.
I want you.
You don't get that deal done if he's announced as a starter. That's a hey, I'll take the risk deal.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
fact. Yeah. So even if it's up in the air, yeah, like he said, I would do that. I would even do that in that case. Even if you have to throw in a third, yeah, let's get that done.
Gardner Minshew and Isaiah Pacheco for Bo Nix. Same theory on the same team that's going for it.
If you
Oh.
need RB, I'm down with it.
I'm doing it, dude. Bo Nix is
Yeah,
not the answer.
No, but
I'm doing it. Yeah.
God,
Dude, if
playoff.
Gardner Minshew and Bo Nix both start the next 2 years, they're probably the same quarterback.
If they both start this year, I wouldn't. Gardner's going to outscore him.
Yep.
Can we have
Okay.
a quick discussion on Mr. Zamir real quick?
Just get
He's
in
a
there. Take it.
Okay. Let's do it.
silence.
I am interested at a high third, low second price. Well, y'all want more?
No.
Oh,
Here's the deal with
I'm
Zamir
selling.
White.
If somebody offers me a second, I'm selling them that second.
Okay, well,
Gone.
okay, yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Because I can buy Zamir White midseason for a second,
You
or
can
someone
buy
like
a
that.
Zamir White just archetype
Yep.
for a
I have-
second,
yes,
and you can
Smitty.
probably get a way better athlete. Zamir White's an ultimate sell for me. His value is never going to get higher than it is right now.
Yeah, I
Fully
have him
agree.
in.
I'm just
I have him
looking
in
at
this
this
category, Smitty. So, Smitty, I got him in this category right now. Where if I have him, no one is really paying me what I want for him. They're just
That's
not.
the fact, yeah.
But if I want to target him and say, you know what, he's gonna carry the ball 20 times in Pierce's offense, I will not make that trade until week 4, week 5. And I just won't do it because at some point we're all going to need running backs in the season, and I'm just not going into the year buying him. I've got to see it on a football field, and if I see it, I will overpay at that point.
All right. All right, I'm just looking. Alexander Madison loved the dude, but he ain't it. Dylan, oh god, Dylan, that might be interesting. You know
There's a
what?
world that
Dylan,
Zamir White
cancel
is
the
an
second round.
RB1 next year. There's a world that could happen with the way Pierce runs his offense.
Who's
But-
American? Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude. Pierce
Well,
Pierce literally ran the rock like 30 plus times a game when he took over last year.
man, that beat the Chiefs. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
On Christmas Day, on the
Christmas
on the
Day.
Lord's
All right,
Day.
we'll talk Brock Bowers later, but what? WTF, Michael Meyer, and I'm going to start speeding this along here, boys. But Michael Meyer, I am out unless it's a 1.75 or more premium. If it's a 1.5, I don't care. I will cut bait. Doesn't matter to me right now for him.
They have to re-scheme for him, right? Like, ugly.
Nah, him and I still like the player and the talent. It sucks having Brock on the team, but Brock is a guy that you can line up all over the field, and Mayer was never going to be that. He's a guy that just is a good target tight end, can beat your zone, give you that just safety blanket. Brock is just a guy that can tear you up at any level of the field. I think that for Antonio Pierce's offense, that Mayer is still fine. I don't think he's going to have a great year having Brock and Jacoby and Devontae there, but I still like Mayer the player. So if I can get him, somebody's willing to sell him cheap, I'll buy him.
It's just so format specific to me, and 1.5 I can't do it. But if it's 1.75 or 1, or my God, the league you just did, which is like 3 points a catch, I will actually overpay just for that in that format. But 1.5, man,
I got Mayer on that team in like the 9th or 10th.
Another 10th round.
Yeah, but it's like 2.5 points per catch, and then
Jesus
a
Christ.
half a point per first down. I was like, I'll take it.
So
He's
let's
still a
jump into
second-round pick.
the Chargers here. I'm gonna hit this one real quick just because there's a couple teams I want to talk a little bit more on, but let's talk Justin Herbert. Find a way, for me, I'll just say it really easy. Find a way to tear down on Justin Herbert. I want the Brock Purdy range. This might be a place I actually want to tear down, take a chance on Trevor Lawrence with his new weapon. I do want to tear off of Justin Herbert. I think we've seen the best of Justin Herbert, and I want to tear off to somebody I don't know if we've seen the best on him yet. And it's also specific to offense on there. What are you guys doing with Justin Herbert? And then just tag that in with what wide receiver you guys are trying to get between QJ and JP. And we'll talk about McConkey later. And Smitty, I'll let you roll.
Dude, guys, is a first, like, I don't care what type of first, is a first enough to buy Herbert? No?
Depends.
Not if
In that case, I'm out. Like, because that's as most as I'll ever spend on Herbert. So if that can get it done, then I don't want him.
You know what? Let me talk about a tier up then. What about Bananarama? Will Levis in a first for Herbert. What side are you on?
God, I'd rather have Bananarama, though.
It's close.
That's close, but guys, one day I will say how I feel about these Titans, and it's gonna be weird.
Okay.
I like the Titans offense this year, but I'm not fuck that. I ain't trading Herbert for that.
So Jared Goff in a first for Justin Herbert. Or would you tear down from that? I would love to do that tear down.
Yeah, now that's a
I don't.
sexy teardown
I don't go past like Dak.
for
If
Herbert.
I'm, yeah,
So you do still
I
kind
ain't
of value
trading
him though.
Jared Goff. Fuck no. This guy has multiple, almost 5,000 yard passing years. Not that he's gonna have that in Harbaugh's Roman system, but I
Yeah,
mean Herbert's
Chad, you got a good
elite.
point there on the passing because everybody knows that, you could just have some bad passing years. Actually, I think if you're tearing down on Herbert, maybe you should be changing your philosophy to a rushing quarterback and try to tear down that way just to not
Yeah.
have. I think maybe that's a good
Which
idea.
Levis might give you some value in your as legs, but if you're gonna go, like I said, if you're gonna tear down to Levis, I want that's definitely a tear down where I don't want the pick. I want another player, and if you can get a stud on top of it, then yeah, go for it.
So here's my line. Tua in a first is my line to tear down from Herbert. I would do Tua in a
No,
first.
I
I
ain't
would.
taking Tua.
You're not.
It's
I'd
what I
rather
can do
have
with
golf.
that first, my man.
Yeah, I'd rather have golf. But see,
Oh,
like
for
I'm
sure.
okay with Tua. I actually, that was surprising. I am okay with Tua. For Herbert, Tua in a first.
Dude, he has 5 people. He has 5 of the top 8 fastest people in his offense now. All
Oh
right,
my.
let's just jump off of this real quick.
Will Levis, and Brandon Ayuk.
So if
That's
you have to
something I
go
would
buy a
do.
wide receiver on this team, not counting the rookie, QJ or Palmer are you taking a chance on? Because QJ was friggin' awful. Palmer is what he is, but who are you taking a shot on? Someone's got to step up. Or are you trying to buy DJ Chark right now, Chad?
If I'm taking a shot on one of them, I'll take Palmer. But I mean, that's pick your poison because I don't like either of them. I wasn't a Quentin Johnson guy coming out, so I'm out on him. Maybe he can turn it around, but you're also now you don't have as much target competition, but there's going to be less targets to go around in general with having a Harbaugh and Greg Roman offense. So yeah, I don't like QJ. If you want to throw a 4th round rookie pick or something for him, either one of their wide receivers, go for it. Just hope for the best.
I'm taking a shot at DJ Chark with a 4th because you'll actually get him. You might get Joshua Palmer. I don't think you're getting QJ for a 4th. I don't think that manager's ready to cut bait that hardcore on him. I think you'd have to go after QJ as a throw-in piece to a trade. Smitty, what do you think?
I agree because I kind of would be okay with QJ in a rebuilding team because he can't hurt you there. He can't hurt you there.
Yeah. I think I'm just out on the Chargers this year, and I don't care about long-term viewpoints because I can change my roster every single year if I want to. All right, so that gets done with the AFC West. Let's jump right into the AFC South. There's actually 3 teams. I want to talk about all these teams. All right, let's go. Houston Texans. Let's go. I'll start off just like I started with Patrick Mahomes. C.J. Stroud, number 3 rated quarterback in fantasy football right now. Tear down, tear down, tear down, tear down. I am not spending that price because if I'm spending that price, I'm just going to pay more and go get Josh Allen. What do you guys think on C.J. Stroud? And piggyback that, Smitty, into Joe Mixon.
Dude, I fully agree. Now, Mahomes is a little rich for me, but CJ Stroud, I mean, what is the likeliness that he'll even do that next year? Now, Mixon, on the other hand, oh my. I feel like, now that I'm looking at the depth chart, you have to buy him low. Buy him low or leave him alone, but his competition is not real. But
So
yeah, I fully agree. Sell Stroud if you could. I mean, if you could, sell Stroud. Period. Just do it. Get a haul. Have fun.
Dude, if he does exactly what he did last year, he will actually lose value, which is insane. If Caleb Williams comes in and has a decent year, he'll jump him. If one of these quarterbacks, just goes, Jaden Daniels rushes for 1,000 yards, jump him. So that's my thought. Chad, where are you on C.J. Stroud?
He's overvalued right now for me, but I've said that from the beginning on where I seen he was going in startup drafts. Like I think that like I said, managers look too much into the future sometimes, and I mean, why on God's green earth that he gets drafted before Jalen Hurts blows my mind. Like it just it it's not something. I don't care if it's 6 points per passing touchdown. Hurts gives you too much. He look at his quarterback finishes, man. He's right behind Josh Allen as far as using his legs and what he does on the goal line. When they get on the goal line, the Texans are going to run the football. D'Amico Ryans, he's going to want to run the football, and that's not saying that CJ would have a bad year, but honestly, when I look at a tear down, I said I wouldn't go to Trevor Lawrence before. I think this is a spot that you could get down to Trevor Lawrence and get you an absolute stud with it, and I think your roster will be better for it.
I could buy that. I buy that totally. Yes, I love the idea. God, what a great.
And Trevor Lawrence's weapons aren't, you know what I mean, they aren't Houston Texans, but they aren't bad. They're better than they were last year.
Okay. I like the way you just put that. I didn't think about the Trevor Lawrence the way you did, but let's talk this one through. We might be more than an hour here now because this is juicy. So let's say Trevor Lawrence and A.J. Brown. Now, a C.J. Stroud manager would not want that, but what type of stud player are we talking about here? Is A.J. Brown stud enough for Trevor Lawrence?
Hey, bro, in that situation, I'm going in a second. Sorry.
I'm smashing the Trevor Lawrence and A.J. Brown.
Right.
Somebody, if they want to give that up for that, I think. Even I mentioned Waddle before, which I really like Waddle. I think that's a fine trade if you need a wide receiver. But again, like a Trevor Lawrence and a Saquon, a player of that caliber that can anchor you, that's going to get you a RB1 or a wide receiver 1. If you can do that, that isn't like a Devontae Adams. Like I don't think I would go that far just because of age. Okay. If you can get you somebody that has a solid prime left with Trevor Lawrence for CJ Stroud, I'll do it all day long.
All right, so Chad, I'm going to fire some players at you here. Just say yes or no on me. Let's talk Devontae Smith with Trevor Lawrence. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at, holy crap, Nico Collins.
No. I wouldn't do Nico, and it's strictly because of how I feel about Tank and Diggs being on that team.
Brian Thompson Jr., that's too big of a risk, I would assume?
Yeah, a little slightly too risky.
What about Debo?
I'd prefer Ayuk.
Oh,
yeah. If you could get Ayuk, yeah, I'm smashing that.
All right. Okay.
I think as far as I would be willing to go down might be like a T or like a Michael Pittman or God. Zay is very borderline-ish. But yeah, I think like a T Pittman would be like a bottom line for me.
I think I need to be in the Brock Purdy range for T or a DK. I think I just need to be in that range.
Agreed.
Okay. I have Trevor above Brock.
You're a fool.
Are you really?
I'm just joking.
That makes me excited. That makes me excited. Oh, okay, wow, cool.
Sorry, man. You're talking to the biggest Brock Purdy dude alive over here.
He's he's been good. I just the way I don't know. First overall picks. It's just they.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all about where you draft him in startups is why I keep preaching him so much, because it's like, dude, I mean, back a second, early third, it's like I'd much rather that than Joe Burrow at the 106, you know? So that's where I'm at. But, all right, I want to spend some time talking about who I think is one of the biggest buys in all of fantasy football. Haven't talked about this dude one bit, and I've been waiting for this show. Guys, if everybody thinks Joe Mixon's going to carry the ball 100% of the time in this offense that people think is going to explode, they're absolutely fools. Dameon Pierce is going to have a decent-sized workload. And by the way, Joe Mixon doesn't stay healthy. Chad, you know what Joe Mixon looked like when he left the Bengals. I'm planting my flag, and if anyone on this offense, I want to go get Dameon Pierce for the price. I picked him off waivers in a league. I've had him at throw-in for places. He is dirt cheap, and he's going to touch the rock. So talk to me about Dameon Pierce. Actually, Chad, you're ex-Bengal. Let's hear you.
I like Mixon in the offense. I'm not like huge on Dameon Pierce, but I want backup running backs on my roster that are tied to good offenses. So, and the price that you're getting on Dameon Pierce is awesome. But I actually like Joe Mixon. I mean, they traded for him and extended him. So I think, but the thing with Joe Mixon is he's just not explosive. He's going to get you what he's going to get you, and he doesn't fumble the football, which D'Amico Ryans is going to love, and he's honestly been durable for the last, 3 years, so that's how I feel about their backfield situation.
So do you think Joe Mixon gets more or less than 60% of the workload?
I'd say 60 would probably be, a really good number.
What about you, Smitty?
Yeah, I'm honest to God, I'm thinking 70, but I don't know if his health will allow it.
Okay.
I just seen him so hyper productive in the Bengals offense. I just can't forget what I saw. That's my whole thing. And you know what? Speaking of forgot, I totally forgot that Pierce was him when needed to be. So
Yep.
last year he was not needed to be. He did not need to be Pierce because Singletary was super solid. If Mixon goes down, what a cuff!
So just here's my point on Pierce is he is the type of running back I trade for 4 months before the season starts because, I mean, just send out a third rounder for anyone, and I guarantee you'll be auto accepted in a lot of leagues, and it's like, sweet, that's the perfect RB I want right now. I think if you give me 40% of the touches or 35% of the touches in a high-powered offense, that's worth a third. That is worth a third all day long. All right, let's talk wide receivers here. Nico Collins, I'll just say I believe is a sell. I don't see how his value is anywhere near where it's at right now or next year as it is right now. We just had one of the most elite wide receiver classes coming into the league in a very long time. I just think you should definitely tear off a Nico Collins. Chad?
They've been linked to wide receivers ever since last year. They went and got Diggs. I don't know if you've seen C.J. Stroud's live reaction of San Francisco drafting Ricky Pearsall, but obviously he was obviously very invested in them, so I would assume maybe the Texans were. And I just think that Stroud likes Tank more as a wide receiver. He always mentions Tank's name, when he gives his favorite teams and of players and stuff. Tank's always on it, so that type of stuff never goes unnoticed by me. So if he's saying that now, I can't imagine. And Nico's contract's got to be coming up soon, so I think this might be year 4 for him as well.
Smitty, where did we rank Tank Dell in our rankings? Wide receiver 11?
That might be. I think so.
We're wide receiver 11.
Just in our rankings, we're pro Tank, and I don't think Stephon Diggs going there matters a bit for him. I think it helps. Tank Dell's the best receiver they got on this team. But let's talk Diggs. Smitty, what do you got to do to go get Diggs? 31-year-old wide receiver. He's going to get targets. I think he fits a go-in, winning now, get your wide receiver 4 or 5 type guy. I'm not buying him if he's going to be my wide receiver 2 or 3. I need to figure my life out a little bit more if I think he's going to be that. But what are you going to go give for him?
Yeah, no. If someone wants to give a first, that's sick. But I would not be mad at buying for a second or selling for a second. I think I'm very happy with that, just because of how old he is and how better he left things at a freaking Buffalo. But and I think he's gonna have. I honest to God think he's gonna have great games. His contract is pretty much set for him to have a fantastic season. So I'm very happy.
So he can get to the Cowboys.
Ooh,
He
Oof.
wants to go play with his brother.
Can't believe they didn't do that. But God, he would have been oh man.
I
That
would
was
love to see Dallas fail with a 33-year-old wide receiver that thinks he's still a wide receiver one. You think he's going to get along with CD Lamb? His team didn't the Bills rank him as a number one person they wouldn't let their sister around?
oh my God, yes. The Vikings did that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Because
He's
the
a
how consistent
crybaby.
that talk was. Ugh.
Yeah.
Angsty.
So, Chad, what young wide receiver could I send to go get Stephon Diggs that has possibility? Like a team that's rebuilding, I mean, would they take JMO and a third? Would they take that?
Maybe. I got
Maybe.
some high hope for JMO still. Like I
Hmm.
said, I'm not saying not to sell JMO because I think if you can get Diggs for him in a third, I would take it for sure. Especially if you're wanting to win now. Maybe maybe one of the a lot of people get attached to the rookie picks, but maybe some of them rookies that win the later second, early third of this 2024 draft, you might be able to sneak in for Stephon.
Like I Adonai
Um,
Mitchell.
yeah, Jalen Polk,
Polk. Ooh.
some even like Ricky Pershall. When
Okay. I hear
see
you.
if you can get.
Like that.
I mean, Pershall's blocked right now, so if I can get him off my roster and get a Diggs on there, I'm doing it if I think I can win. So
I might give that a shot tonight. Kind of want
Yeah,
to.
just don't go in the league that I shout out. I need a veteran wide receiver. You boys know I'm just grilling you here to figure out what I'm going to send out after this. All right, Indianapolis Colts.
Oh,
Let's start
speaking
picking
of.
this up a little bit. Anthony Richardson, he has shown that he can break fantasy football. Would you tear off of Anthony Richardson? Because I believe you can get Kyler Murray in a second for Anthony Richardson.
Oh God, yes, I would do that so quick. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I love that.
Smitty, would you want a rushing quarterback in return?
Yeah, actually, no. No, doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. Because honestly, I might be okay with like a freaking solid statue. Like, let's talk Love Plus. Let's talk Love Plus. We might get into some love talk here.
Chad, can you settle a debate we've had on this pod for 4 months now?
Yeah.
Who's a better quarterback in a 6-point passing touchdown, Jordan Love or Anthony Richardson? This is a trade Smitty and I did in the Rumble last year that I still regret trading him Jordan Love.
Really?
I gave you Jordan Love in a first for Anthony Richardson,
Okay,
and
well,
I
let's not
want
talk
Jordan
about
Love in my first back.
yeah, I mean, I'll shut up.
I don't know. I don't know. Only because Anthony Richardson's rushing upside is so high that it possibly wouldn't matter if it's 6 or 4 point. But Jordan Love he's just another guy that I have to see it one more year because NFL teams adjust, and that's how QBs, how good a quarterback is how they adjust to the NFL's adjustments. So I think I might. I mean, if you're giving me Love in a first, I'll take Love in the first every time. But I think Anthony Richardson has quarterback one upside. So like
But if
quarterback one overall.
Yeah, and it's hard because we saw it with Love, and we haven't. I mean, we saw it for 3 games with A-Rich, which is why I still have Love as a better quarterback right now.
Oh yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But when it comes to fantasy football, and I'm a big proponent of Shane Steichen and his offense.
Okay.
I think it fits very well with Anthony Richardson. I still got to see Anthony Richardson do it too, but yeah, I think I would take Jordan Love plus, but it would just depend on what the plus was. If it's a first every time, but
So let's talk Michael Pittman. I'll just keep it with you, Chad. If you're trading Michael Pittman, what are you looking for in return for Michael Pittman?
man, it's hard. Because I have a couple rebuilding teams and I've tried to get rid of them, but I just don't like what a lot of people have sent out for him, which is why I won't. Like I still I still look at him and what he fits into Steichen's offense, which is Anthony Richardson's going to be RPO and first read. Steichen's not going to ask him to sit back there and work his progressions, and he's going to be you're running the football, Jonathan Taylor's running the football, and Pittman's probably going to be your first read 70% of the time. And I think that fits perfect. That's like when people talk about like Pittman's touchdown upside, which I completely get, but he also has 120 catch upside, and in a PPR league, it's about as safe as a wide receiver as you can get on a week to week basis. So I still personally like Pittman.
You're minimum a first, right? You're a first plus at this point.
Oh yeah. And it's fair. Like, I've tried to tear down because a lot of the teams that I have that I've tried trading them on, I'm a rebuild. So obviously, like if I tear down, I'm gonna want at least a first and probably a player. It's not like I'm trying to go like. It's just hard, man. That when you start getting into that range, and then I'm looking at target shares for some of these teams, and I'm just like, it's going to be nowhere near Pittman. But yeah, I need a first, and honestly, I might try to kick into the 2026 draft.
Okay, so Smitty, would you
2026 first? And
Smitty, would you take the guaranteed 201 next year for Michael Pittman?
Dude, no, before this pod, I totally would have, but you really, truly sold me because I completely did not think about Shane Steichen as like really like just for that type of quarterback who's not really the best at throwing. It is your options are limited. Make one of them work, and you're absolutely right about what you said about Pittman, dude. I love this pod so much. I swear to God, none of you guys are benefiting more than me. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. I love this pod.
Smitty, are you starting to realize Chad and I have been working on a Michael Pittman trade today?
Oh.
I've been trying to sell him in the Rumble
saying, oh my God.
I've been trying to sell him in the Rumble for months, but I'm cool with keeping him.
I asked for a veteran wide receiver, and he pops up in my DM again for Michael Pittman, and every time I forget, I've got friggin' Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, and I'm like, I am not taking that risk.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot.
All right, so before we move off of here, anything you want to say on Josh Downs, Smitty, A.D. Mitchell, or Jonathan Taylor? I think Jonathan Taylor's a good buy, but wait till we get into halfway through training camp.
They get down on the red zone. The only thing that scares me is that they get down on the red zone, and it's going to be Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts 2.0. You know, I mean, they'll get Anthony Richardson's probably going to end up with double-digit touchdowns, but he also has to stay healthy. So now. Guess who their backup quarterback is if Anthony Richardson does get hurt? Somebody that is going to sling that football, and if Flacco is throwing passes, Pittman might have like literally top 5 upside.
Oh my God, we're talking today, boys. I love it.
So 2026 first rounder, straight up.
Oh, for Pittman?
For Pittman?
Huh?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. But it's a hard player to gauge for me.
Yep. All right, so Smitty, let's talk Jacksonville Jaguars. This is kind of a fun team. I think we've talked enough about Trevor Lawrence and some of the other ones using him as an example.
Yeah, we like him.
Oh, good Lord. Are you going to go on your...
I'm going to go in and out with this. Travis Etienne, he is a quasi running back 1. I don't care what you think. I mean, if you wanted to think he's RB1, fine. But I would sell him as an RB1. And if you can't sell him for that price, keep him. It's almost in the Pacheco range, weirdly. Who would y'all rather have, Pacheco or Etienne? I mean,
Pacheco, because I can get Pacheco plus.
Okay.
That's the type of shit. That's what I was gonna say. I'll take Pacheco plus, and you can get Pacheco plus for him.
Should we be buying Gabe Davis anywhere because he's cheap?
I mean, yeah, he is cheap, and you know what? Honestly, you might have. Oh God, I don't know. We're talking late best ball round. I don't know. I don't like him, to be honest.
I'm out on him.
Yeah.
So if you've got four future, 2025 thirds, and you're looking at your team and you're like, you know what, I just need a spot start here and there. Like, I think he's worth sending out a third. If it's your only third, I'm not sending it. But, sometimes you just have a lot of liquidity and you're like, you know what, I really don't need this. It's worth a shot. I think
Before you
it's worth
send that, before you send that out, send out your thirds or whatever for Christian Kirk, because I see a lot of people like I think he's undervalued as a player in that
Oh,
offense still,
I got
and
nervous.
I people talk about Evan Ingram and like yeah he's great, but they forget that Christian Kirk was the best fantasy player on that team until he got hurt. So. And now you don't have Calvin Ridley there soaking up 130 targets. So yeah, Evan Ingram's going to get some, Gabe Davis is going to get some, but I think Christian Kirk could be close to high end or wide receiver two, middling wide receiver two on a weekly basis.
Smitty, does that make you hot and flustered?
My only issue is I think I mean, good God, if I have 3/3 and I send that for Kirk and it's accepted, I might honestly just turn up at a bar that night because
You
that's
could probably get him
crazy.
for
Do you
two
honestly think
thirds.
so? Like, people really don't like Kirk. Like, that's actually starting to hurt me, like, because
I've seen
you've
people.
seen that.
I've tried to, I tried to trade Christian Kirk for Burton and I think a third, and somebody didn't want it, and I was like, all right, well, and I'm a big Burton stan, so it's not gonna you're not gonna hurt me, but I don't know, I think he's very like just undervalued in the dynasty community as is.
That's
I
That's a
would love
better
to get
wide
him for a
receiver. You
third.
can go try to get him in the Rumble.
Yeah. Would not do it for a second, though, at all. I just
But if
wouldn't
you
do it.
have 3/3 and that guy takes it, good God, shout out to
Take
you.
Ooh, man, I'm getting a lot out of this podcast today.
Right? And honestly, why not do it for a second? Why not? Why
No,
not?
no, I can't do it. You know what?
I hear you. I hear
If
you.
I think it's going to be a late second, yeah, but I don't know, man. I just think I can take that second midway through the year, and I just think I
Okay.
can
No, you're
try to
absolutely
get.
right.
I can do more with that second than Christian Kirk when I need it the most.
That's a fact. Try his 3/3 method. I mean, that price was offensive to me, but if you can do it, you can do it.
Oh man, absolutely. All right. Anything else on the Jaguars before we break down this last team?
Yeah, just treat Evan Ingram as a wide receiver one, but buy him like whoa. Treat when you're trying to trade for Evan Ingram, treat him as a tight end one, but I mean, think of him as a tight end one, but treat him in trades like a tight end two. That's all I have to say.
The Tennessee Titans.
Oof.
This is an offense that I am like completely out on, but yet I'm really in on in certain formats. Like start 11, I seem to have a lot of Will Levis. I just think like I love Will Levis as a QB3. I think you can put him on your team that way. I'm out on Tony Pollard. I'm out on Calvin Ridley. I'm out on DeAndre Hopkins. I'm out on Treylon Burks. I'm out on Tajay Spears. Like, I'm just kind of really out on here, but yet I'm in on the QB. So, Chad, talk to me about the Tennessee Titans.
I don't mind Will Levis. I'm not completely sold on the player, but he's kind of insulated this year at the very least. Actually, one of my favorite Dynasty startup players is on the Tennessee Titans. It is a running back. It is Tajay Spears.
I
He's
saw
my
that
favorite.
coming.
He's my favorite zero RB target. I think he gets majority of the touches this year over Pollard, even though they paid him. I think he's just a more explosive running back. You've seen it last year, even with Derrick Henry. He's a good receiver, and he's young. And he's going in the 13th, 14th round of startups, and that's a perfect target for someone like me who's not going to invest early in a running back. Because I look at Tajay as someone that again is going to fly under the radar as just a fantasy player in general. Best ball drafts, like he's going super late. And people are buying into this Tennessee offense. Well, if you're going to buy into the Tennessee offense, then buy into this super explosive young running back that they were completely fine letting Derrick Henry go. Not saying like Derrick Henry was still King Henry, but he was still pretty damn good, and they were comfortable letting him go. I believe that was the case because they have Tajay. I don't mind Pollard, but I, I, I'll take Tajay. I don't know who's going to be their goal line back, but I think when they get to training camp, it's going to be obvious who the best running back is on their team, and he's immediately going to get the higher split of touches. And I love Calvin Ridley on this team. He still got 140 targets last year. I mean, he quietly had a good season for Jacksonville, and he gets paid by the Titans. You know what I mean? A new regime. So they went and got their guy, and I still like DeAndre Hopkins at cost. He had good weeks with Will Levis. He already has that rapport, and yeah, I don't mind this offense at all, and I don't like their defense. So that means I'm gonna like their offense as far as a fantasy.
That's a great point.
Just fantasy games in general. So yeah, I think this is a good offense to target. If you guys are interested in best ball drafts, a lot of the Titans go late. Like I think Calvin Ridley is the first one to go off at like the 7th round.
This is a best ball dream team. This is a best ball dream team.
Yeah, it is.
Smitty, settle this for me because maybe I'm wrong on Tajay, but here's my thing. And, you know, I don't know the exact round people are going right now, but let's say a startup, wherever he's going, I'm looking at Zach Moss. I'm looking at James Conner. I'm looking at possibly Derrick Henry, but just somewhere in that realm of player. I just don't think Tajay's a long-term option. Like, I don't think I'm looking 2 years out on Tajay right now. So why don't I just take the 1 year of just someone I've seen it? Talk to me. Settle this one. I need to figure this out.
I'm right there with you because I'm still very concerned about the lack of ACL in Spears' knee. What is that about? Like, I don't know. But you're right. I've seen explosive games. It's just, I mean, the running backs you mentioned, I'd rather have them all even. Zach Moss, yes, you got me there. But I do agree that if you can get him later than that, not a bad pick. Not a bad pick at all, really. I mean, if I'm being honest, y'all, Titans are going to the playoffs. Because I actually do like this defense. I mean, I don't love it, obviously, but, like, yeah, I'm not mad at it. They got Snead up in there. I love Jeffrey Simmons. And we're not talking about the defense, but just this team's solid, man.
So I want to go buy D-Hop. I want to, but I can't. And it's driving me nuts because he's, like, the perfect person for some of my builds, but, like, the wheels have to fall off here at some point, right?
I feel like, okay, this is what I honestly think. I honestly think one day Will Levis came home, was packing up from practice, and D-Hop just slams his locker and said, "Give me the targets or else." And he pulls a gun into Will Levis' neck. Will Levis is like, "Whoa, bro, whoa." And D-Hop's like, "Give me the targets, man. Give me the targets." And he backs off, disappears in the night. And Will Levis has been haunted by that image. He has been like, "Oh my God, if I don't target him, D-Hop's going to shoot me." And so I think that's the situation. Calvin Ridley would never. He's already considered a degenerate gambler, so he can't even be threatening. So I honestly think D-Hop is going to get fed because he is such an asshole. Like, he wants those targets, and he's going to get them.
Fair enough. All right, boys, we broke down we are through all the divisions in the AFC here. We went a little bit longer. Chad, up to you. We can end this here, or we can spend another 10, 12 minutes just knock out a rookie mock. Up to you.
We can do it. I'm already.
Yeah, my guy. Let's do it. We will get this one done quick. We're going to do a quick rookie mock here, and let's set the table. Do we want to do... We're going to go 2 rounds. What do you want the format to be? 1.75 tight end premium?
To be honest,
that's fine, yeah.
Okay, you want to do a start 11 or start 10?
11's cool.
All right, let's go. Start 11, 1.75 tight end premium, PPR, Smitty, 101. Who is your pick? I think this one's an easy one.
Yep, I'm gonna go with Marvin. I'm joking. I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels.
Okay, it wasn't an easy one. Let's go Jaden Daniels. Hold on, let me turn this music off. There we go. All right, I will just go ahead and put Caleb Williams at the 102. I think that was the easiest choice I've had tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say 103 is the reason that I picked it is because I wanted to talk about. This is where I would trade out because I'm not a huge Jaden Daniels guy, but now
I saved you.
I get to take Marvin Harrison. So,
Cut.
I mean, here's my biggest. Like, I know we're not about to explain things, but I just have to mention this. Washington really did not help that offensive line, and that's crazy to me. That's upsetting to me, and so now this kid has to run. He has to, which he does well. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
back on Smitty.
So here's where it would get interesting for me in the draft, depending on roster construction. I might try moving around a little bit here, but 104, Smitty, who you got?
Okay, right here, oh, God. Neighbors, and that's honestly, that was tough. That was quietly impossible.
Who was the other player you were thinking of? Because that was a slam dunk 104. Who?
I was thinking of May. I was really thinking May.
I got you. Well, I'll make it easy because the next pick, Roma Doomsday, is coming off the board at the 105.
Yeah, I get it.
Chad, you're up.
Drake May.
So
would you have drafted May over Neighbors?
No, not at the 104.
Not in a start 11.
I can agree with that one.
Yeah, not in a start 11. In a start 10, I'm considering it. Start 9, I definitely, yeah. So Drake May right there. So the first 5 I think are pretty solid. These are the people that we've talked about that could be generational talent. Drake May, we have a maybe on there, but we're really thinking the other ones are. So let's see. Smitty, you're back up at the 107.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm going JJ McCarthy. What? JJ McCarthy? That was weird.
Said my guy. McCartwright.
1.75 tight end premium. Brock Bowers coming off the board at the 108. I think that was an easy selection for me. 1.5. He's not coming off the board there. But 109 is on you, Chad.
This isn't going to be popular, but I will take Jonathan Brooks.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, that's crazier than Jaden Daniels at 101. Sorry, guys. I had to get the heat off me real quick. Woo!
All right, so I want to spend some time talking about Jonathan Brooks here because RB1 of the class, I think that's a pretty consensus across the board. But I am seeing him creep up from where he was right after the draft. Like, teams have had time to think about things because he was a 201, 202, 203 range right after the draft. I'm seeing him creep to that 112, that 111. He's really creeping up the board. So, I mean, RB1 of the class at the 109, I would be taking a wide receiver, but dude, that's RB1 of this class. Like, when are you ever going to get RB1 at the 109?
And with us doing a mock 3x3, I'm gonna like the next wide receiver I take. I'm not. Maybe you guys let Brooks fall to me, but just elite draft capital, elite landing spot as far as running back goes, and he's got really good upside in the PPR setting.
I completely forgot about the draft capital. Great point with that.
The
and
only
early
thing,
declare.
And early, ooh, young boy. I have to go Xavier
hold on,
Worthy.
Smitty. I want to say one more thing about Brooks. The only thing about Brooks is for how I play the game, it's going to be very difficult for me to draft him above a quarterback that I think is going to get guaranteed 2-year starter. Like, it's really hard for me to draft a running back above a QB, and I get it. I actually think it's probably the smartest thing to do, but this is where you have to really think about process versus player when you start thinking about that and then do what you want to do, right? All right, Smitty, sorry. You're
I'll
up.
go Xavier Worthy here. I
Ooh, you got 4.21,
love
jumping
it.
the board there.
Can't believe
Smitty,
it.
you were buzzed one night when you literally were saying you were going to draft him at the 104. That was good. Um, all right,
I
I
remember
mean,
that. I actually, I remember the scenario. Yeah, that
so
was.
Chad, he was trying to trade for my 104, and he's like, I guarantee you, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do if you want to choose to trade. I'm like, oh man. All right, 111. Look at its profile. I'm drafting Brian Thomas Jr. here. I'm on the bandwagon. He fits. We talked about him last week. He fits. 112, Chad.
Lad McConkey.
So the
Man,
cool
that's
part about
probably
these decisions now at the 112, like 111, if you're looking at Xavier Worthy, if you're looking at Ladd, and if you're looking at Keon Coleman, it's like, man, pick your poison. Do you want Patrick Mahomes wide receiver one? Do you want Coleman, Josh Allen's? It's kind of crazy, but I like Ladd there. I think
Yeah,
Ladd can smash. He's got a little Cooper Cup in him. He really does.
I don't.
Um,
I just it's Justin Herbert and such a lack of other playmakers on that team. It's wide receiver. I think he could pop pretty decently in his rookie year. So
Yeah, he's got a little Sun God argument in him too, because look, I had Sun God on a lot of teams, and I know draft capital was less than Ladd, but when he got to the Detroit, man, it was just who else are they going to throw the football to? You had to draft him, and that's how Sun God became Sun God. Like Ladd's got that, he's got that arc to be there, just like he did. Smitty, who are you going to 201?
So I'm juggling between two players because, you know what, I played myself. So I'll admit this. With the 101, I considered this to be a contending team. And if I'm doing that, if I'm going to stick with that, I'm going to go Keon Coleman, which I have to do. But if this team was, 101, if he earned it, or he or she earned it, or it, if they earned it, then that would have been 101 would have been easy Caleb Williams, and the 201 would have been a different player. But if I'm just sticking with it, this team is contending, which I don't know why. Yeah, Keon Coleman, I like it.
Dude, you boys are making this easy. I don't even need to think about my picks here. This is just how people view this, but I'm drafting Michael Penix right there. I'm
Yeah,
drafting
see,
him
this
above
is how
Bo
the
Nix
101, the 201 should look.
because this is about how I play the game of fantasy football. Michael Penix, I will be able to get a first-round draft pick for him next year if I want. I would like to me that's a future first already in the bag. I can't guarantee I can get that from Bo Nix, and really, if I'm drafting Penix at the 2-2 or Bo Nix, I probably don't need a starter anyway. So I'm just drafting Penix above Bo Nix. I think he's a better quarterback.
Wow, love it.
I will take Bo Nix at the 203.
Would you take Penix over Nix?
Mm, it's
It's in
a
your heart. You're saying hell no.
it's a portfolio thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to continuously take Bo Nix over Michael Penix, but in the sake of like if I just did one rookie draft, I would take Nix just on the off chance that Penix sits for 2 years. If he sits for 2 years, like it's just gonna suck. But I like Penix better as a quarterback than Bo, so that answers both ways.
Smitty, who you got as a 204?
Man, I can go. I'm worried about Adonai Mitchell. I really am. So I'm just not gonna pull that trigger. And God, I'm gonna go Leggett. And this is. I'm gonna go Leggett here. I'm gonna go Xavier Leggett. And it's just too many options. I really didn't know who to go with. To be honest.
First rounder. I like it. I like it a lot. Now this is obviously this is going to be we're in roster construction zone right now, and I know everyone's going to say you want a wide receiver, a running back, yada yada yada. I am drafting the running back here. I'm taking RB2 of the class, Trey Benson. We'll go right off the board. Who do you got the 206, Chad? The Lova?
Ricky Parshall.
Ooh,
Love that, man. He's one of my most rostered players right now. I love that guy.
Just in that he's still a first round wide receiver,
Yep.
and you're getting him in the middle of the second round. He's probably not. He's probably going to be cheaper come the start of the season. So
All first rounders are off the board right now. So we are in pick your guy range. 207, Smitty.
I'm gonna go Troy Franklin. As mentioned earlier, he's paired up with his college quarterback. That's just we love to see it.
Man, I hate running backs more than anybody, but
My God.
I'm
Oh my
drafting
God.
Jalen Wright here. And those
Oh
are
my
the three
God.
backs that I want on my team somewhere. Brooks, Benson, Wright.
yeah, that's.
I got so nervous.
I would have loved him there at the 209. You want to click over wide receiver. I'm gonna take Senate there in a 1.75. I like his upside.
Fire.
Yeah. No,
Fire
that's
pair him with a good quarterback, right?
I
Yeah.
like it.
He's got good draft capital too.
All right, Smitty. 3 more picks. Who you got the 210?
Yes, my final pick has to be a Ram. Let's go, Blake Corum. I honestly thought you were gonna snipe him from me, so thank God you didn't.
You know,
Needed him to
it
be
was
my
between
pick.
it was between him and Senate for me.
I think you made the better choice.
With the premium, and already having Jonathan Brooks.
No, yeah.
I like Senate there.
To be honest, though, I wouldn't even draft. And this is probably, I don't know why. I mean, I'm clearly in the minority. I wouldn't even draft Corum in the second round because look at these receivers. I'd rather have them, but but that's the consensus, and I'm starting to buy it.
So I love the pick because he's part of the reason that everybody should sell Kyron Williams.
Yeah, that's the talk these days.
All right, Jalen Polk off the board. We're going to take a little magic. Hopefully he's a wide receiver 1 there. And bring us on home, Mr. Lova.
I will take the 4th best wide receiver in this draft. The 80th overall pick.
I should have done it.
Jermaine
Damn it, I didn't even
Burton.
think about it. Oh, I should have done it.
Fire. Hey, we got some homer picks going on. We all chose a homer, I think.
Honestly, man, the only reason I would take any, I wouldn't take, even though Legette's a first-round wide receiver, I wouldn't take him over Jermaine. That's a spot right there that I would want to trade down and just try to grab an extra third, man, and look at the players that are still left. I still like Marshawn Lloyd. I like Javon Baker. I mean, Adonai Mitchell's still there. Get you 2 of them guys for somebody that like a Keon Coleman that somebody might love. And he can smash, but that's a process trade for me personally. So
Great
Third
idea.
round is usually where I'm filling my holes at running backs. I'm just taking shots. It's how my teams are built, man. I don't have good running backs, and I'm always needing touches. All right, guys. We appreciate you joining us on the Dynasty BS show. Chad, Dynasty Lova, man, brother, that was awesome. This was it was fun. Spent a couple hours with you, about 2.5. But man, anything you want to say to our listeners before you jump off of here?
nope. Have a good night.
All right,
For
so
sure,
I'm going to send you the 201 for Pittman. Smitty, anything you want to say before we end
by
this?
Jermaine.
Yes, buy Jermaine Burton. Yes. Got my first share
Unless
today.
you're in a league for me, you're probably not gonna get him.
Dude, if you're in a league with the Lova, he'll send you like 3 first rounders for Burton, and maybe he'll ask for a third back. But we'll see. All right, guys, that was awesome. Smitty, hang on.